No, Akufo-Addo is worse. Akufo-Addo is worse than Kufuor. Oh, the verdict is out there that he's the worst president of the fourth.
Do you have proof to that?
Oh, sentiment. You can't take away sentiment. I think we largely agree that in this fourth republic, Akufo-Addo is the worst president.
So in the fourth republic, to you, Akufo-Addo
is... a lot of Ghanaians, I'm sure today...
But to you, Martin...
Oh, and a lot of the people
But I'm asking...
Yes.
Akufo-Addo is the worst president in the fourth republic.
Absolutely.
What makes him the worst president?
Oh, the corruption perception index is there. Do you know for 8 years, Akufo-Addo couldn't even beat Mahama for a single year? Look, Akufo-Addo came to office. Mahama's worst performance on the corruption perception index was 43. Right? That's the year he left, 2016, right? When Akufo-Addo came, 2017, the thing dropped from 43 to 40. Yeah, straight, 3 percentage points drop. Why? He filled the government with family and friends. Too many. I mean, we all realize, you see, Kufuor was a president, his brother was a defense minister, Addo Kufuor, and a few other relations here and there in his government, a few. But Akufo-Addo took it way out of this world. Yeah, at a certain count, there were about 51 or 53. There was this calendar that had all of them. Okay? Yeah, he did it more. It was nauseating. The nepotism had broken all the records that you would ever find in this world.
But John Dramani Mahama has also, filled position with some persons, right, who are purportedly, members of his family or related to him.
Let's count. As far as I'm aware, it's Joyce Bauer, right?
Yes.
But as I said, Akufo-Addo, listeners and viewers can Google. When you Google, you see the 51 or 53. There's a whole table, many ministers, many chief executives, etc.
So what number is enough? If 53 is corruption, what number is better?
Oh, no, to be practical, well, let me say off the cuff. It's possible maybe with more reflection I could change. Maybe 3 or 4.
3 or 4. We
can live with that.
Okay.
Yeah, because we have to be practical. Yeah.
10?
10 begins to sound very obnoxious. Yeah. 10 is too lopsided. No.
So if you were the one in office and being truthful here, if you were the one in office and you have people who are credible, although they are members of your family, won't you give them the appointment?
No, there's no way out.
Even though they are credible?
I won't. Hey, Charlie, let me tell you, Rosalind. Hi, the people of Ghana make you president. Do you know what that does for generations to come? So out of gratitude, they are just saying that keep your family members away. Is that too much to ask? So maybe you keep 1 or 2. Maybe because of certain personal matters, perhaps you prefer that 1 or 2 be at your side. It helps. Keep the rest away. No, what's the presidency? What it does for your family and the whole of your hometown and oh my God. That's a small price to pay. An exceedingly small price to pay. They say keep them away. Oh, come on. That's the easiest thing to do. If you know how it runs practically, it's the easiest thing to do. Look, let's be fair. When you keep them away, but because you are president, there are many people who open doors to them in the private sector. So their lot would improve. Yes, that one is natural everywhere, even in the UK. Generally we've traveled, we've read. It's natural that once you are president, a lot of people will open doors to your relations, even in private sector. So there are a lot to improve. They should just go there.
Okay, that's not a bad one. But then again, I'll take you to this. 31st of January, we all know what's going to happen in Ghana here in the camp of the NPP. Now, you have spoken about it on different platforms, saying that the people contesting the flag bearership will not make them come to power in 2028. Who would you have preferred to see on that, ballot paper?
Oh, unequivocally, I would go for Patrick Boamah, the MP for Okaikwe, is it north or south? Yeah, around Abeka, Tesano. Yeah. Boamah, you see, Boamah would be a compromise candidate, okay? Good because, you see, among others, I've said it and I've been trolled and insulted ad nauseam, but I'll repeat it. The simple reason is that NPP doesn't have a good record to campaign. If you're going by their records, I just told you that for 8 years, Akufo-Addo, who had been, curated and sold to us as a corruption czar, he couldn't beat JM for 8 straight years. He couldn't perform better than JM on the corruption perception index.
But he managed to come back to power in 2020. Ghanaians voted him back into power.
Yes, our level of consciousness was still, I think generally, to be fair, was lower. I would tell you that in 2020, I was still upset with NDC. Okay. So what I even did, because of the COVID, I didn't even vote in 2020. I was also upset that we had gone for a new voters register, asking people to queue up with COVID to do a new register. So I didn't register, so I didn't vote in 2020. Okay. Yeah, so today it won't be the same. You see how the 2024 elections turned out. It tells you that the Ghanaian is changing. Listen, I can see that this country will be one of the best into the future. Our people are quickly learning more than... We don't even seem to appreciate and understand the enormity of the change, our maturity in the 2024 election. Look at the gap, close to 1.7 million votes, right? So it tells you that we are making a lot of progress, significant progress on the political...
You think Ghanaians will accept Patrick Boamah if he's the flag bearer of the NPP?
Yes, absolutely. Because Boamah, as I said, Boamah is Akufo-Addo. Birds of a feather flock together. Look, if Boamah wasn't corrupt, he couldn't have stayed or worked with Akufo-Addo for 8 years without an open fight. It couldn't have happened.
Some people say you have a personal vendetta against Boamah.
No, when I started with Akufo-Addo, that's the same thing I was told. Then later, with time, people say, oh, Martin, you are right.
Is he your friend, Boamah?
No.
He's not your friend.
No.
You don't know him personally.
No.
Has he ever said anything against you that you've heard about it?
No, not at all. I'm just facing the fact. You see, I think what a lot of people lack is that tenacity. I think usually people just like to discuss one topic 2 weeks, then discard it and go on. No. When I pick one issue, I want to fight it to the end. So I have to keep warning citizens that birds of a feather flock together. Boamah is one with Akufo-Addo. Let's not make that mistake. We would not make that mistake.
So Kennedy is there then? Kennedy can be the flag bearer and bring the NPP into power, right?
No. I
Why?
don't believe so. Kennedy, is obvious, apart from the, many abuses, the invectives, etc. And so it doesn't make him a statesman, right? The second part is that I don't really know what he wants to sell, or his greatest selling point. If it's business, he's been successful on business on the back of government contracts. No, if he had built a successful business all by himself before government made it big, sure. But as far as I'm aware, he himself has said it. In Kufuor's time, Kufuor said, no, Kennedy, you can't be a minister. I'd rather give you contracts. So as far as I'm concerned, his empire started from Kufuor's contracts, the contracts Kufuor gave him. And he himself has said it. It's too late, he can't come and change it. And that's the truth. And that's just the story. So somebody who builds his success on the back of government contracts, I don't see him as a successful person.
What about Dr. Brian Champong?
A Champong who wanted to buy our hotels for his song. Labadi Beach, etc. He will loot us dry. There's no way I'll try a Champon at all. There's no way. Then left to a Champon, maybe I'll try a Duchum or Abne Japan. But a Champon is a non-starter. But for Okujeto Ablakwa, who mobilized people, led us to be able to fight, and then eventually we prevailed. They were going to take our hotels for a song. We are not going to try that. And besides that, Champo is also shown that, he's the master of violence. The violent speech he gave, they didn't see that. They will not hand over. They didn't see that. No, these two. He will ruin our democracy. There's no way.
Okay. So, Patrick Boamah, what do you think he'll bring to the table then?
Yeah, so Boamah, so far at least, he's a career MP, though he's a lawyer, right? And
it looks like you have a soft spot for lawyers.
Not consciously. Boamah, so I just looked in the lot and thought that, okay, and also, so let me be clear, generally in terms of the voter population, that the accounts are quite a huge, and politics is about numbers. And so, from my understanding, okay, Boamah is Ashanti, so Ashantis generally would rally behind, and a lot of other ethnic groups, right? But generally, because they have more numbers, so give the one who can, bring a lot of numbers. Politics is about numbers. Let's be realistic. Unfortunately for Boamah, at least he has a training. He has a training, and he's been is this his third or fourth term in Parliament? Third or so. Yeah. So, and being a lawyer. So generally, and since he hasn't brought up any scandals, etc., it means that generally it should be good to go so that in 2032, it's not for 28, to be very clear, Rosalind, no, Boamah can win in 28. No.
He's not even on the...
Yes, so even if they were to bring him today, so to be very clear, I don't think we would give, and when I say we, I'm talking about those of us in the middle, the floating voters, right? We are not ready for the NPP to return in 2028. It's too soon. You know, the way they've looted us, we are now taking...
So how long do you think they'll stay in opposition for?
A minimum 8. That's a minimum.
Minimum 8?
Yeah, minimum 8. Okay. Yes, so that's their best, or let me say they'll have a better chance in 2032 because by then we would have seen 8 years of NDC. It's possible by then they would have been fatigued and maybe a few corruption scandals, etc. That perhaps MPP can ride on. By 2032, I can see will be far more complex because I can also foresee that those of us in the middle, but then you would have had a lot of Ghanaians more conscious, and then we would possibly throw out this MPP NDC thing and try something else, the third force or something in the middle. But it won't just be the normal NDC or normal MPP winning.
Okay. Yeah, do you think the third force could be Alan's camp?
It's possible. It's possible. But not with Alan as a flag bearer. Alan will be too old. Yes, You see, I've made it. I mean, I've said that a lot of young people support me. I still see myself too as a young person, right? I think that 2028, we don't have much of a voice to force the parties, even though I wish NDC will field a much younger candidate, but it appears on the ground because Isidun Ketia has been there for very long. It's difficult. Maybe they can negotiate. If the NDC can negotiate with him, that would be perhaps better so that they can field a younger candidate. You see, Atufo-Addo Kufuor, sure. But if they are not able, it looks like it will be Isidun Ketia. And we can't fight that much because Akufo-Addo broke us. We don't have much of a voice to insist that it must be a young person. But by 2032...
What has that got to do with Akufo-Addo?
No, because he spoiled everything. Let me speak local Ghanaian.
But people bringing younger people has nothing to do with Akufo-Addo.
No, you see, so because he spoiled everything, right, and NDC won with such a landslide, so the common reason, let me be blunt, with about 1.7 million votes, it will tell you that you cannot get any other candidate who can come and beat the NDC candidate, wipe away 1.7 million votes in one electoral cycle. So, putting it bluntly, generally, any candidate the NDC brings will win, generally. Of course, they will also try not to bring a candidate who has too many things in the cobwebs around, no, and too many scandals. No, they will avoid that. So when I say generally, so I'm clear that they won't bring a candidate who is so bad. So it means that generally any candidate NDC brings may win. If it's not too likable, then it can draw down the votes significantly, right? So that's why I say if you go and start making noise that no, we want a very young person, we want below 55, we want below, I don't know. It's possible we can try that, but I'm just saying that it doesn't look like we can force their hand. But consider the other example. You see, no mining in forest, and then bringing less than 60 ministers. You see that in our political discourse, at a point, a lot of Ghanaians, you know, join the conversation.
Who would you wish to see as the next flag bearer for the NDC?
So you mean if we're doing wishes? If wishes. Okay, no, so then undoubtedly, Atufo-Addo should go for Kufuor. Okay. If it's for the young persons. It's our turn generally to also take over. If the old people have tried, it's okay. Let the youth also come in. Fresh ideas.
And see what they have. Constitution Day, you know the Constitutional Reform Review Committee, actually made some proposals. They proposed that the tenure of the presidency should be extended to 5 years. Do you think it will be a good thing?
Not at all, Rosalie. And this one to have expressed my opinion, I mean, I don't know, some in several quarters. I don't think so. It's very clear. Let's go to our history. We voted twice on this matter. Number one, on the Constituent Assembly, okay? That's, when I say before the promulgation of the 92 Constitution, there was an assembly when the Committee of Experts presented their report, etc. There was a Constituent Assembly made up of chop bar owners, barbers, etc. I know there's that famous story where the GBA formally as an organization didn't go. The story is told that generally they felt indignant that they couldn't go and debate with Choba or this. That's the story. You know, sometimes there's a comic relief in it, even though the specifics may be a bit different. So the point is that that assembly, they voted on this matter, and the results are that 128 voted against a 5-year term, and 85 voted in favor. Then there were 13 abstentions. So this is a round defeat. 128 against a 5-year term, and then 85 in favor, and then 13 abstentions. So let's say that's 91 before 92. The Constituent Assembly did a lot of the work in 92. Fast forward 2011, 2012, the Fiajo Commission, the one that Tamils put up. That one too, if you go into the report, you see that base, and that one was good. That one I even also participated. We had the opportunity to vote via SMS, right? Yeah, and majority of Ghanaians said no, we don't want a 5-year term. The main problem is that, you see, our systems are weak. So generally, if the president is not very honest, he will help himself, he and his people, they will loot, generally. So that's how come people like the 4-year term. Let's be very blunt. I don't like us playing ostrich. Yes, certainly, if you are benefiting, you will say 5 years. But look, I like saying this, and can you imagine Akufo-Addo for in government for 2 extra years? Look at 8 years, how we suffered. 2 more years, a lot of us would have died. If you had won 5, 10 years, oh no, come on, that's a generation.
So for you, it's a no-no. What do you do for fun?
Oh, generally, is it fun? We play football.
You play football?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Keep fit.
Okay. Every Saturday?
Sunday afternoons.
Every Sunday afternoon.
Yes.
That's
so you
nice.
See Professor Jampu, Ernest Franti, Paco Akwe. Yeah, I'm sure some of the names that you would know.
That's
David,
nice.
Ganesha, Tete. Yeah.
Do you ever want to go into Parliament?
Parliament, not specifically, but somehow within the governance space, public office, I'll come.
Office of the Special Prosecutor. I know you've said no to it. Why?
I've never dreamt about it.
Why?
At all. I think that's just me. I like to be blunt. I took him on because later, I mean, the stories I heard about the corruption against him, etc. And I've presented my petition. Hopefully, by law, on the 17th of January, that will be 30 days after the Chief Justice has received the petition. And the Chief Justice must make his decision known within 30 days of receipt. I presented it on 11th of December. The President has 7 days to present it. So when I calculated, the latest from 11 to 7 days after 11th is 17th December. So that means that latest by 17th December, the Chief Justice should have had it. The Chief Justice has 30 days, so that should be 30th of
So you
January.
want him out of office? Absolutely.
He's not fit for office. I'll be very blunt.
Who is fit for the office?
We will find a new candidate. You know, people will show interest and then we'll scrutinize him. No, he said they have been worked for Furiata. He said they have been worked for Furiata, worked for Gabi Ochridako. These are the president's relations. So you can see that, obviously, he was brought there to cover things for them, do a cover-up. And he did it in the SML case. We have, Rosalind, we've shown it. We have cases, you can imagine the SML case. Ufuriata left Ghana before they started investigating it. Yeah, we have it. I will show it to you. Manasseh was able to get the diary of action. That's the one that shows when investigations started. And it shows 29th of January, 2025. By which time Ufuriata had bolted so clearly. And you see, even before we saw the diary of action, I started saying that I see a collusion, that Kise Jabe allowed Ufuriata to flee. And eventually he came to confess. You see that KSM interview where he said, oh, before Ufuriata traveled, he intercepted the letter Ufuriata wrote, 1. And then number 2, that he went to NIB, didn't get help. He wanted to stop Ufuriata. I wrote to NIB. NIB is the National Intelligence Bureau. They replied that no, Kisi never came there. Then he said he went to National Security to get help. They didn't help him. I wrote to National Security. They also replied in the negative. Immigration. My letter is with immigration. I believe they will also reply soon. And I believe it will be no. So quite clearly, Kisi was brought there to do a hatchet job, generally cover Akufo-Addo's corruption, etc. He's too conflicted, too conflicted, you know.
All right.